and then we will get going. All right, you guys, so glad you're here. Like I said, I love Fridays. I've done this workshop 3 times this week. It's the last time I'm doing it before the summer session. And so, okay, hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. Okay, got it. I had to mute this. Okay, so been doing this 3 times since Wednesday. So the good thing is, you guys, I got all my nerves out. Now I'm ready, right? It's going to be so great. So y'all aren't, you know how you don't want to be the first one? You know what I'm talking about? You want to be like, you want someone to have practiced. Well, I've been practicing, so I am ready. So you guys, all right, we've got people from everywhere. We've got Missouri, New Haven, Connecticut. Let's see, Los Angeles, so awesome. From Philadelphia, North Florida, New Jersey. You guys, we are from all over. So fun. All right, so let me know, what is the high temperature? Kathmandu, Shravika, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I don't think I've ever had a guest from Nepal before, so that is a huge honor. All right, you guys, tell me, what is the high temperature where you live today? What's the high temperature where you are living today? You guys, where I am, it's like 80 something. It is wild and crazy. Kirsten says 89. Rita says 77. No, Sana says 77. Rita says 87. I'm pulling up my weather right now to be able to tell you what it is for me. 82 right now. We're going up to 82. Pamela says 79. Hi from Canada. 86 in Michigan. LA has a high of 68. Ooh, Joan, I want to be in LA. That sounds amazing. So fun. All right, so high temperature. So who here, if you know, is out of threat of frost now? You no longer have to worry about frost in your area. I am in the Chicago area and I'm now out of frost, which I'm so excited about. I have like dirt under my nails. I just planted my tomatoes and peppers this morning. All right, Linda's in North Florida. No more frost. Probably you never had frost, I'm guessing. 69 San Francisco Bay Area. Better be in Florida. Chicago area 2 with dirt under my nails. Yes, Stephanie. We are twinning. All right, Linda says, right. I live in Michigan and we always have the threat of frost, says Jessica. I hear you on that. That's how I feel in Chicago. I used to live in Houston. I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I used to live in Houston and we never had frost. Now this year they had a terrible freeze. You guys probably got to see that in the news, but I got very spoiled to no frost while I gardened. And here in Chicago, it's like the opposite. It's like we wait all year for the frost to stop. Jamie Ford says 90s, no more frost, but wind in Las Vegas. Interesting. Okay, so next question for you guys is how would you rank yourself? So 1 is no experience gardening. All right, you've never grown a thing. 2 and 3 is you've grown some stuff, but you haven't loved the results. 4, 5, 6, you've had some successes, some failures. 10 is you are the bomb.com when it comes to gardening. You are a master gardener. Everybody asks your opinion, gets your help in your neighborhood. So where are you guys on the range? 1, never grown anything. 10, you're a pro. How would you rank yourself? Let's see what everybody says in the room. By the way, when you're chatting with us in the chat box, you can mark for everybody to see your chat where it says 2: you can change it to panelists and attendees. And that allows everybody to see your answers because there's hundreds of you guys here right now. So it'd be really fun for y'all to get to see each other's answers. All right, Shelly is 8 to 9. That's impressive. 6 for edibles, says Kirsten. Higher for ornamental. Kirsten, you might want to be a garden coach. All right, Lucy says 7. Actually, a master gardener. So awesome. Allison says 3. Anita says 3. Janice says 4. Was doing well. Then I got sick 2 years ago and lost it. Oh, I hear you on that one. Okay, 1.5. I love the people who do the decimals for us. They are so exact, right? Brenda's a 3. Sarah's a 4. Paula's a 2. We got some 7s. It looks like we have a really good wide range here, which is awesome. Because today in this class, I am going to, Dee says, hello from Austin. I am a baby. Well, to be a baby, you are a very good typer, Dee. I've never met someone who's a baby who can type like that. So I am impressed. I'm pretty sure you're going to go far in life. Roseanne says, okay, Mary says 4. Al Foster says 3 to 4. Awesome. So the fun thing about today's workshop is I am a self-taught gardener, and I learned by growing a ton in my own space and then by creating a business where I create gardens for clients all over Houston, Texas. It's called Rooted Garden, and we set up raised bed kitchen gardens. So the fun thing about learning from me today is that I kind of made all this stuff up. Now, I'm sure you can find some of the theories and philosophies in other ranges and places where you study gardening, but a lot of the stuff that I have pulled together as a system is something I kind of just made up as I discovered gardening for myself. So hopefully if you're a 1 or a 2, well, I know if you're a 1 or a 2, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to love it. It's going to take the mystery out of gardening. But if you're even a 7, 8, or 9, maybe even if you're a 10, this is going to present maybe a new way to look at the garden and a new perspective that you might have not thought about before. At least that is the goal. So I'm super excited for today's class. Now, last question before we kick it off, and that is, why are you here? So what brought you here today? What is the thing that has you watching right now? What's the thing you're most excited about learning? What's something that you're like, I'm going to give this girl a little bit of my time? Because let's be honest, time is money, right? Time is our most valuable resource. So why are you spending time with me today? I would love to know so that I can make sure we make that happen. So Nicole says, have a successful garden. Maria says, be more successful with my gardening. I love that. Allison says, I want to create my kitchen garden. Teresa's here for the tips. Heather's here to be self-sufficient. Janice wants to grow healthy food. A kitchen garden, says Nancy. Well, I love it. Joan says, I really want to be able to walk out to my backyard and pick some fresh food. I love that. Instagram photos of what I want. Awesome. To be better than a 4. I love that one. I love gardening. I want to get better. Specific planning help for growing with my climate. Ooh, I love that, Linda. 70-year-old. I want to learn about raised gardening. Awesome. You're going to love raised beds, especially my mom is she 70 yet? She'll turn 70 this year, and she loves her raised beds. Your garden looks amazing. Make green smoothies every day. Yes, the green smoothie garden. Ria says gardening is therapeutic. Absolutely. Cynthia's here. She's retiring and she's getting ready to garden. I love that. That's what I want to do when I retire. Actually, I kind of feel like I'm retired already. I just literally spent 2 or 3 hours in the garden this morning. Your last webinar was amazing. I learned a lot and I want to improve my garden. I love that you came back for more. That's so awesome. Where to fit a garden in my backyard. All right. I'm just winging it and I'd like to learn more. I've had some success. I love that, Diane. All right, so you guys are here for good reasons. Catherine, I love her reason. She says to stay motivated growing my own food. That's so awesome. All right, well, it is 12 o'clock on the dot, and I like to start on time. I don't want to waste your time. We're going to have so much fun. Oh, look at Jenna. She's going to start her garden with her young son. I love that. So I stepped out to my garden this morning, literally at 11:30. And let me just say something to my team. Natasha, I actually went live on YouTube. So I'm going to skip the Facebook since we did that one already. So thank you. Just speaking to my team for a second. So I went out to my garden at 11:30. It's now 12. Are y'all ready? I'm going to show y'all. I'm guessing most of y'all came because you saw an advertisement. Raise your hand if you signed up today because you saw an ad. Yeah. Did you see me with a basket? Anybody see me with a basket? Okay. I see like 75 hands. Okay. So I just want to show y'all it's real. Okay. I didn't just make it up. So here is the basket. And I literally just filled it up at 11:30. All right. So here are the things I grabbed from my garden. I got some purple mustards. I got a ton of lettuce. This is spring mix lettuce. So awesome. I got some arugula and mustards. I got some red Russian kale. I got some dinosaur kale. I got some spinach. And I even got some radishes. All right. So are y'all excited now? This is what I want to teach y'all how to do. And I just wanted to show you that I didn't just make up that advertisement. It's real. It's a real life thing. Okay. All right. So we are now going to go to the slides. I'm going to share my slides. This presentation is going to take just under an hour. So I'm going to make the most of your time. If you've got a snack, if you've got some water, grab it and fill yourself up, make yourself feel good, get cozy and comfortable. We have a workbook for you. If you have not printed that out yet, my team is going to put the link to the workbook in the chat here. You can download it if you haven't done that yet. And I'm going to guide you through the workbook as we go. All right. Are y'all ready to learn? Tell me. Give me a 5. At a 1 out of 5, tell me how ready you are for this right now. All right, I see the yeses. I see some 5s. Okay, good. That was I kind of didn't have a plan there. I should have had a better plan for what to tell y'all to do. All right, I see. So, I'll tell you about this in a second. I have a little surprise to share with you too. All right, I love it. So many of you guys are here. Let me pull up my slides here. So I'm going to move my face over here. No judgment of my very busy desktop. Okay, guys, I do a lot of work here on my computer. So it's a little bit of a jungle. You can ask my team. It's like, whoa, baby. Okay, here we go. We are going to plan our 2021 garden together. Tracy says, I am printing my book right now. All right. So over this next hour, I'm going to teach you my unique method for planning your garden. Stay to the end. We're going to give away 5 signed copies of my book, Kitchen Garden Revival. This book came out a year ago in 2020. I think we're on like our 5th printing right now. It was really good timing with the pandemic, and you guys have been so awesome to support it. So today, if you are awesome in the chat, you're not late, Carol, you're good. If you support each other and just stay active in the chat, be awesome in there. My team's going to pick 5 of you guys to get a signed copy of my book. So you'll have to be here at the end of class. About an hour from now, we'll announce the winners and tell you how to get your free book. So nothing like showing up live, right? All right. So I am on a mission to redeem space. I want to redeem the space in our lives. I want to redeem the space in our yards. So this is my yard. 2 years ago, April 2019, this is what it looked like. And I love redeeming spaces. And this is my method for redeeming a space, is turning it from this into this. I love using raised beds. I've found over the years that is the secret to success. And I love to take raised beds and turn them into this. Same space. Did you guys catch that? Oh, yeah. So I love to take spaces and redeem them. I'm personally on a mission that by 2030, kitchen gardening is normal again. It's ordinary again. And so that's why I'm so excited that you guys are here with me today, because that means you're part of making the mission happen. My dream is that by 2030, kitchen gardens are as common as yoga pants are. Anybody here have yoga pants? Raise your hands if you've ever owned a pair of yoga pants. All right. Yes, I see all the hands. And then I want you to take a second and also raise your hand if about 10 or 15 years ago, you thought yoga pants were the dumbest idea ever. When you saw women walking around showing their little tushies in their yoga pants, you thought that was a totally horrible idea. Anybody? I can literally remember seeing my friend at the park about 10 years ago, and I said, what is up with the yoga pants? I cannot do this, right? And now I have like 10 pair. So that's my vision for the garden. Right now, a lot of people still think it's crazy. Not as many people think it's crazy as they did 5 years ago, but a lot of people are still saying, oh, not for me. Don't have a green thumb. I can't do it. But my dream is that by 2030, that yoga pants and kitchen gardens, synonymous, like everybody's got one. So just the fact that you guys are here. Oh, Catherine says, I don't like yoga pants. I hear you, girl. I've actually gotten into joggers lately. I don't know about y'all, but joggers are now my favorite. So back to the garden. I am on a mission to change space, to redeem space in our lives and with the kitchen garden. And I want to turn it not just into this, but into this. So today what we're going to talk about is creating a space that you get to enjoy, that becomes an extension of your home and that you get to pull tons of delicious food from. All right, so I'm also the creator. What I did is I took my system I developed with Rooted Garden and I created an online program called Kitchen Garden Academy. So in the online course, Kitchen Garden Academy, I teach my entire system. And today's class is a gift to you. It's a free class, a whole hour we're going to spend together, but it's just a little snippet. It's just a little sample of what's inside the Academy. So if you'll stay to the end, I want to give you an opportunity to come and join us inside the Academy, and I'll tell you more about that at about 45 minutes into the class. If you're not interested in going deeper with us in the Academy, totally get it. You're going to get tons of value in today's class. But I would love it if I get to keep partying with you guys all summer long, all year long inside the Academy. So this is what it looks like inside the course. And today I'll be pulling our teaching from Module 5. So Module 5 is all about planning out your garden. And that is what I'm going to teach you how to do in the next few steps together. This is taken from basically one of about 60 videos inside the full Academy. So here's where we're going. First, we're going to talk about my aha moment. You guys are going to love number 1. If you want to leave after number 1, that's fine, but you've got to stay for number 1. So first, we're going to talk about how to grow with your plants. All right. Then I'm going to teach you my plant decoder, how to learn the plant families. Then we're going to classify our plants. And finally, together, step 4 is we're going to make a plan. So let's kick it off with my aha moment. You're going to love this aha moment. And I think it's going to make you say aha as well. And that is to grow with your plants. So I want you to grab this chart in your workbook. If you just have a piece of paper, you can draw it yourself. It's simply a diagonal line with some dots on it. And then we have a blank for 4 little things we're going to fill out together. So you can have a pen, pencil, piece of paper, whatever, and start to fill it out as we go. Before we do that, just a little backstory about how I got started in the garden. This is me back in 2011. I just had my 4th child, Elaine, and I was thinking a few things. So I want you to tell me in the chat which of these things relates to you and your desire to garden. So believe it or not, in this chaos, I was still thinking I wanted to garden. I wanted to have a garden. And here's what I was thinking. Number 1, I need a way to take care of myself physically. So health is what I was thinking about. So if health is your main motivator, you guys can kind of write this down. What's your priority? If health is your priority, write health in the chat. The next thing I was thinking is I need a place to relax and find peace while I'm at home. So I knew I was going to be home a lot. I had already been home a lot, and I needed a little home away from home. You know what I mean? Like a place to get away when I couldn't get away. So if home is important to you, and I think we've all had a good taste of home, right? If home is the most important part for you with the garden, you can put home in the chat. The next thought I was thinking is I want a way to connect with my family that does not include competition or chores or diapers. You know what I'm talking about? So I wanted something to do with my husband and my kids. I wanted something to do in our space that was fun and would connect us, but that didn't involve laundry. You know what I mean? So if people is your motivation, if you want to connect with your neighbors, your community, your spouse, your partner, your children, if people is your motivation, you can put people out there in your chat. And then finally, I wanted to make a place that felt beautiful, but did not take a lot to maintain. So beauty was also a big motivator for me, honestly. My home, we were renting at the time. I didn't necessarily love our home, but I wanted some place that felt beautiful to me. So if beauty is your motivation, you can write that down. And you could even write all 4 of these down, because knowing our why is so important before we get started with any new thing in our life. Now, I was also thinking something else. You guys can probably guess it. I was thinking, I need a babysitter, right? Like maybe I need a garden, but probably I just need somebody to help me. So here is what our garden turned into. This is our first garden in 2011. And what do you guys think? It was okay, but a little bit not what I was picturing. Let's just put it that way. This is in our backyard in Nashville, Tennessee. So this is what I was thinking now. I don't have the time or ability to maintain this. The word I was thinking here was overwhelming. Do you guys ever think overwhelming when it comes to garden? Yeah, overwhelming was my first thought. I see a lot of raised hands. So overwhelm can be a feeling that we have when we're trying to garden, even though we're trying to do it to help ourselves, to have health. The other thing I thought, oh no, actually, yeah, that was stress was the first one. Then I was thinking this is overwhelming. So that's the overwhelming feeling. So the first feeling I actually had was stressed out. I looked outside and I was like, oh Lord, this looks horrible. And we're renting this house. So what are we going to do when they come and see this? The third thought I had was this is a lot of work for not a lot of output. So the word I was feeling here is disappointed. Have you guys ever felt that? Where you like did a ton of work, you put in hours and lots of time, lots of effort, lots of dirt in there, and you just didn't get the output you wanted. So disappointed was me. I think I mostly grew sunflowers and zinnias this year. And then the other thought I was having is this is not as pretty as I was imagining. And this word is embarrassed. Anybody ever felt embarrassed? I have found this is actually a lot of the reason why people don't go for the garden is because they don't want to be embarrassed by what happens. And I was definitely embarrassed here, I'll have to say. My neighbor right across the fence, she had a gorgeous garden. So the thought I was thinking was I need a do-over. So have you guys ever thought that? Like, let me just start over here. I just want to do a new garden. Okay, so I was lost here. This was 2011, and this is important. We're going to get to the grow with your plants, how I figured this out. So I was trying to figure out my answer, and this is what I landed in. So this is 2017. So about 5 years later, a little bit over 5 years, I turned into this. So in between here, I had moved to Houston, Texas, and started Rooted Garden. So these are my new thoughts. I got something to harvest every day, and it tastes so good. This is my favorite spot to be in my home. My kids could always find me out here. I love that my kids and I can connect out here. And this is so pretty. I'm going to post it to Instagram. You guys know what I'm talking about? Instagram worthy. That's how I finally felt. And my new thought here was I got to go tell people about this. Like I was ready to shout it from the mountaintops. So my husband, my dad actually is a pastor. So I grew up with this person always like telling people stuff, right? And so I guess I just kind of have it in my blood. But as soon as I started having success like this, I was so ready to tell people. So in 2015, I started Rooted Garden. And I went through the middle there from 2011 to 2017 to this. So I want you to take a quick second. You could write this down in your workbook or put it in the chat. What's the difference between these two gardens? What are some things that you really note are a difference? What's something that's different between these two? Raised beds. The second is contained. Sad and happy. Marigolds, beds, looks neater, organized, see success, variety, knowledge, structure, beauty, mulch. Manageable, beds, aesthetic, organization, back saver, life and death, well cared for, very organized, not in line of the same plant. Interesting, realistic, it's working. I love this. Thriving, accessibility, organized, beautiful. Yeah, so dense plants. I love that. Whoever said that. Beautiful focal point. So this was the shift I made from 2011 to 2017. And this is when the light bulb started to come off. This is when I had my aha moment. So this is the sentence. You guys can write this down. This is the system that I figured out works. It works for me. It works for my students and clients, and it will work for you. So this is the sentence. A seasonally, that word is important, and intensively planted organic raised bed kitchen garden is the secret to a beautiful, that's number one, and low maintenance. And then this is what you get out of it. Year-round supply of herbs. So you're either going to have fresh or dried herbs all year long from your garden, 6 months of greens, and at least 3 months of fruit harvest. So this is the system, all right? So when you have a seasonally and intensively planted raised bed kitchen garden, you're going to get a year-round supply of herbs, 6 months of greens, and 3 months of fruit harvest. This is when we're finally going to get to the grow with your plants, all right? So this was me in 2015 when I started Rooted Garden. And I started offering my services to help other people learn to garden. So these are some of my first clients' gardens. And I had some clients who'd let me do a little bit for them and some clients who let me do a lot for them. And I found that the clients who would let me do the whole thing, we had the most success. And 5 years of experience doing this really taught me something. And that is that setup equals success. Setup equals success. So I had some clients who already had gardened, or they might be even a master gardener. They had their classes in gardening, but they didn't have the setup that I recommended, and they had minimal success. And then y'all, literally, I'd have a client who had never gardened before. They would let me do the entire setup for them, and they would be successful. And they would be successful growing with their plants. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So my help with the setup and my clients' willingness to let me help them were directly correlated. Is that how you call that? So the more they let me help them, the more successful they were. The less they let me help them, the less. So here's a garden that was set up just about this time of year. It was set up in May of 2016 in Houston, Texas. And this is what it looked like about 2 months later. So this client gave me the whole space. It was all grass. And she said, you know, take away the grass, set up this whole thing, and I trust you with the whole thing. And this is what happened. So this is the aha, all right? It's that if your setup is right, you are going to get to grow with your plants. And here is the moment, all right? So you've got this diagonal line in your workbook. We're going to fill this out together. I want you to pretend like this line represents 4 different things, all right? The first thing it represents is sunlight. So at the bottom of this line, the sun is about 2 hours a day. Got it? 2 hours a day here at the bottom. At the top of the line, we have 10 to 12 hours a day, all right? So 2 at the bottom, 10 to 12 at the top. That's sun. You following me? All right, next up is space. The plants at the bottom, we're talking about 1/9 of a square foot down at the bottom, and then 2 to 3 square feet at the top, all right? So something at the bottom needs like 1/9 of a square foot, pretty small, and something at the top needs up to 2 to 3 square feet. Then we have time. Down at the bottom, things need about 25 to 45 days. And things at the top, they're going to need 90, 120, maybe even an entire year to grow and finish, all right? So on this whole line, we've got sun, space, and time. And here's the cool thing that a lot of people don't realize. All these things correlate. All these things increase and decrease together. Now, there's another line I want you to put here, and that is difficulty. What I mean by difficulty is not that it's too hard. What I mean is it needs more from you. So plants here at the bottom only need a little bit of your help to do their thing. They don't have to be fertilized. They don't have to be pruned. They don't have to be trellised. They just need a little bit of help. And things up here at the top, they need a lot of help. They need to be pruned and trellised and fertilized. They need to be taken care of. Now, here is this super cool thing. And what I realized with all these clients who got their system set up with me is that there are plants to grow at each and every part of this line. And you're going to get a ton of plants at the bottom, and you're going to get some plants up at the top. And that's how we have that formula of how much you can pull out of a kitchen garden. So down at the bottom, we have herbs, okay? So herbs are the thing that don't need a lot of sun, don't need a lot of space or time, and they will do really well. They don't require a lot of your time or difficulty to take care of them. So this is why we can promise you could get 6 months, you get a full year of growing. So you would grow these for 3 to 6 months in your own climate. You're going to harvest so much that you'll use a bunch fresh, and then you're going to dry some and preserve some to use during the colder months. If you're in a warmer, temperate climate, you're going to literally have these all the time. In Houston, my clients have these year round. In Chicago, I grow enough to harvest in the to keep in the winter, and I have so much during the summer. Next up, we have greens. What I mean by growing greens for 6 months is that you can start well before summer. So I start mine in February, March. I harvest them all the way through the summer and into the fall. That's in a cooler climate. And then in a warmer climate, you're going to put them in the fall, and you harvest them all the way through the winter and into the spring. So if you're in a cooler place, you're going to get them spring to fall, which is about 6 months. And if you're in a warmer place, you're going to get them from the fall to the spring, which is another 6 months. And you can do lots of things to work with your weather. I'll tell you more. I have a whole system of how to grow salad garden greens. Next up are root crops. These are a little bit harder because they're underground, right? So we can't see them, okay? So root crops do really well, but they need a little bit more space and time, and they're a little bit harder. And then finally, at the tippy top, we have our tomatoes and peppers and green beans, things that need a little bit more time and space, a little bit harder to grow, but you could get them for at least 2 to 3 months out of the year, even if you're in a cool place or a warm place. So take a look at this picture. This is from one of my friend Allison's kitchen garden. We took this in our, as we were photographing for my book, Kitchen Garden Revival. Tell me what you see here. What are some foods that you see pictured here according to our labels? Herbs, greens, and fruit. Do you see anything? What do you see? We see fruit. That's right. We've got peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes here. Lots of fruit. We see herbs, right? We see basil and chives. And we see the greens. We've got kale right here. Even though it was the middle of the summer, we're getting kale from the plants. The only thing that's missing here is some potatoes or carrots, right? We're missing a little bit of root crops. But this is the picture of when you use my system. This is the picture of what your harvest should look like. Not just a few tomatoes, okay? We don't want to just have 4 tomato plants in the garden and be done. We want to have this mix where we've got fruiting plants and herbs and greens, and they're all coming together at once. This is what keeps you excited and makes the garden a part of your everyday life. All right, so this is the sentence. A seasonally and intensively planted organic raised bed kitchen garden is the secret to a beautiful and low maintenance, that's what we're looking for, year-round supply of herbs, 6 months of greens, and 3 months of fruit. Can you guys say that with me? So year-round herbs, 6 months greens, 3 months fruit. That's the plan, 12, 6, 3, okay? All right, so we've talked about this year-round supply of herbs, 6 months of greens, and 3 months of fruit. So now over the next 3 steps, I'm going to teach you my intensive planting method. This fits right into my raised bed system, and it's going to show you how to pack in the plants in a methodical way, in a thoughtful way, so that you get as much production of the things we're talking about as possible. So I'm going to introduce you to my plant decoder. I Googled that word. Do y'all know what it means? It was like, this is how you figure out codes of stuff. So I don't know about y'all, but sometimes with plants, they can feel mysterious. When I first started gardening, this is what the seed catalog looked like to me. Did you guys ever feel this way? With you saw a seed catalog, or you walk into like Lowe's or Home Depot and you see all the plants and you're like, oh, that, okay, I'll take that one, and I like that one too. And I'll just take all these, I guess. I mean, I should buy them all, right? They're all right here. It's so crazy, right? It's so overwhelming. Well, that happened to me. I had no idea how to categorize these things. Do these things even grow now? I have no idea. How do they grow? I have no idea. And I just felt at a loss, so I just bought a bunch, right? Well, we are going to Marie Kondo this thing, okay? We're going to take all this and we're going to Marie Kondo it. Anybody like Marie Kondo? Tidying up? Oh yeah, watch it on Netflix. It's so good. All right, so we're going to Marie Kondo this right now. You ready? Count down with me. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Marie Kondo. We just did it. All right, so this is so much easier, right? Doesn't this feel good and clean and a lot more like, whoo, okay, I know what I'm doing. So this is thanks to the many, many scientists, botanists, gardeners, the plant heroes that came before us. They took plants and they put them into something called families. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a family, and me and my family, we kind of have some similarities, right? Like we all kind of have a long nose. We all kind of talk a little funny. We all like certain things that we like to eat, and other people don't necessarily think that's normal. Like when we go out to eat, for a special occasion, we go have pho. Like that's just our thing. And we get there and we're like the only white people at the restaurant. It's kind of funny. But I just have weird things about my family that are just unique to my family. So does anybody else have they can see some similarities with their families? Yeah. Okay. I see a few hands. Now there's always a cousin. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's always that person in the family that's a little different, a little weird. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody have that? Yeah. Like the cousin who's just like a little bit, we don't know about him or her, but they're still in our family. Well, every plant family seems to have one of those. I'll have to say for my family, I am that person. I am the weirdo. But every plant family seems to have one too. Maria says that's her. All right. We're twinning on that one. Okay. So as Diana, sounds like plant people, maybe we're just weird. Okay. So the lettuce plant family is a great example where artichokes are in that plant family. Now artichokes are totally different kind of thing you're going to grow in your garden, but they are in the same plant family. Despite the cousins, the very cool thing to know, guys, is that if you know a plant family, then you typically know almost every plant inside that family. Is that cool? So instead of you needing to learn 1,000 different plants, all you need to learn is about 10 to 13 plant families. And then each time you want to grow something new, you're going to find out what family it belongs to. And then there's characteristics. We're going to walk through this in step 3 that will help you kind of decode the plant. You're going to realize, oh, this kind of plant family, they like to grow during this season. They like to eat this way, and they take about this long to grow, and they grow about to this size. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to show you a few of my favorite plant families. And then you guys can take this and apply it in your garden. So you've got this chart in your workbook. This is something you can keep with you as you start to grow in your gardening. Inside Kitchen Garden Academy, we do all this work for you. So you have all the plant families and I dive into them in depth. But this will get you started today. So you can list your plant and then figure out which plant family it belongs in. And then you're going to circle the season that it will grow best in. So we did the first one for you, tomatoes and Solanaceae family. But let's do asters. This is the lettuce family. Asteraceae is the way you say it in Latin. Did y'all know I was going to teach y'all Latin today? Are you excited? Get ready. We got 2 more Latin terms coming your way. Okay. So the aster plant family is, they like the cool season. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the aster plant family. They are my favorite plant family. And as you can see, I got my lettuce here. This is from the aster family. Okay. All right. So they're awesome. Next is the nightshade family. This is Solanaceae, another little bit of Latin there for you. And these are the tomato families. We've got tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, eggplants, tomatillos, all kinds of things inside the nightshade or Solanaceae family. For the most part, this plant family prefers the warm season. Some of them like the hot season. Most of them like the warm. So if you want to grow anything inside Solanaceae, you want to be growing in the warm season. Then we have our legume family. This is called Fabaceae. These are beans and peas. So these are interesting because they like cool season, warm season, and hot season. And you'll learn a little bit more, but you get to kind of pick the peas and beans you want to grow during each season, but they all typically grow pretty similar to one another. So this means, my friends, that if you have a successfully set up space, if you do this system, you're going to quickly learn what to grow seasonally every single time. So remember, our sentence is first growing seasonally, right? So we don't want you to just grow this summer. We want you to grow this summer, this fall, possibly this winter, then next spring, then next summer. So we work in really 12-week cycles in the garden. That's why we're starting a new summer session for Kitchen Garden Academy, because we're moving into a new season. All of us, all over the country, there's just going to be different temperatures. All right, so that is my plant decoder. You guys like the plant decoder? You are now officially armed with the plant decoder. So awesome, right? No more overwhelm. When you get to the store, you can literally grab your phone and be like, what plant family is so-and-so, right? You can find out what the plant family is, and then boom, you're going to know what you want to grow. So super awesome. I love the plant decoder. Like I said, inside of Kitchen Garden Academy, you'll get all the details, but this gets you going on the step. Next, we're going to classify our plants. This is permission to break the rules. Now, I've noticed, no, there's a lot more plant families, Kay. We just only have so much time, so I just wanted to give you a highlight. There's at least 10 to 13 that you need to know. Now we're going to classify our plants. So this is permission to break the rules. Now, I've done a poll with a lot of these classes, and I've tended to find that gardeners are kind of goody-goodies. They like to keep the rules. Are you guys goody-goodies or are you rule breakers? I got to know. So if you are a goody-goody and you don't want to get in trouble for breaking the rules, raise your hand. Anybody who likes to keep the rules. Okay, I see a lot. All right. Oh, and then all the rebels, they're all putting it in the comments. They're all the rule breakers. Okay, so maybe we have a mix here. The other day I was in a class, I was like, guys, this is for the rule breakers. And everybody was like, oh gosh, no, I don't break rules. I'm a good person. All right. Kathy says some of both. That's good. Well, in this class, I want to encourage you to break the rules that are on the back of your seed packages and your plants. So you're going to take this next page in your workbook. This is called Classify Your Plants. And we're going to take this one step further. So instead of, or beyond just naming the season, we're going to name them based on their size and their duration. What I mean by this is how big the plant's going to grow to and how long it needs to grow to that size. Okay. So we're going to label these to keep it simple as small, medium, and large. All right. So our small plants, we're going to put 9 to 16 plants per square foot. And they're going to take 25 to 45 days. All right. That's a small plant. Got it? Medium. Oh, I like Maria. She says, if my garden's going to look like yours, I'll break the rules. I love it, Maria. That's a good condition. All right. Medium is 4 to 6 plants per square foot. And these are going to take 45 to 90 days. All right. Y'all getting this? Large plants, 1 or less per square foot. And these are going to take 60 to 120 plus days. So this is how we are setting them up: small, medium, and large, and we're basing them also with their time. Now, if you think about it, time and space go together with living things. So answer me this: between a butterfly and an elephant, which one is going to take longer to grow to maturity, to be born? Butterfly or elephant? Which one takes longer? Okay, good. You guys are helping me out. Last night, in last night's class, everybody said butterfly. And I was like, oh gosh, what's going on? They were like, wait, don't confuse us with animals. You're right. It's elephants, right? Elephants take way longer to grow. Exactly. Why? Because they're big, right? Elephants, I think, take like 2 years. It's crazy. So elephants take a long time because they get real big, right? Butterflies, I think they're done in a couple of weeks, and that's because they're tiny. So plants are the same way, and plant families are the same way. Isn't this cool? Right? So we've got plants that are small and they just need a little bit of time to finish. And then plants that are big, they're like the elephants, they're going to need a lot more time. Got it? Butterfant, says R. I love it. So the cool thing to know here is the plant families all hang out on this graph. Okay. So we've got the herb plant families down at the bottom. We've got our green plant families in the middle, our root families in the top, and then we've got our fruiting families up at the top, right? So they're going to go, as they increase, their space and their time increase too. So awesome, right? So here's our dot here at the bottom. That's our small plants. Here's our medium-sized plants and our large-sized plants, all right? This is how we're going to classify each of them: small, medium, and then large. So the aster plant family is small, right? It's going to take 9 per square foot. The legume family is more like a medium. We're going to do like 4 per square foot. The nightshade family is large. So you're going to do like 1 per square foot. Got it? See those dots? Aren't they awesome? All right. So a lot of garden teachers tell beginner gardeners to plant less. Just start with a little bit. But I have a different philosophy, and my philosophy is to plant more. Instead of planting less, if you're not seeing success, you should actually plant more. What do y'all think about that? Not less, more. That's my suggestion to you. So if you've been frustrated, if you've done some things that you haven't loved that have not worked for you, I want to tell you not to do less. I want to tell you to do more. Plant more. You'll learn more. You'll learn more faster. Better the odds. Exactly, Rita. All right. So when someone tells you, oh, if you haven't had success, just don't try so much. You're getting overwhelmed. I want to tell you the opposite is true, that planting more is going to help you. And I'm going to show you how as we put this plan together. Y'all ready? Let's plan this garden together, okay? So make your plan. We're going to take this same chart. We've already filled out the large, the duration, and the plant size. And now we're going to decide how many we're going to put into each bed. So to make our plan, you can fill out this chart. This is something you can use again and again every season that you're planting. And this is a chart where you can draw out your garden space and plan how you're going to put everything together. So here is a sample of how I would plant one of my beds for the warm season. My bed here, I have 6 beds that are 2.5 feet wide by 7 feet long. So I'm going to fill this up as much as I can into a raised bed. All right. So I've got obelisk trellises. Those are round trellises through the center of my bed. So I'm going to have at least 2 tomato plants on each trellis. Boom, boom, boom. So this is at least 6 tomato plants. Then I have arugula. So arugula is on the ends. That's going to be a small to medium-sized plant. I've got at least 15 plants on either side. I've got pepper plants on the edges. You could put herbs there or flowers there, but I've got pepper plants. Those are medium-sized plants. And then I've got beans, bush beans on the sides. Those are also going to be grown as a medium-sized plant. And you can see I have them planted all at the diagonal. So they just fill up the sides of my beds. Now I could also add a lot more plants here, right? I could put plants in between the tomatoes. I could put herbs there, flowers there, arugula there, anything I want to in between these tomatoes, because I do not like having bare soil. All right. So this is an example of what you can do. Now we gave you a gift of a few planting plans. We have 16 planting plans inside your Kitchen Garden Academy membership. And I want to give you a little teaser of what it's like. So we put 4 of these in your workbook. So here is a sample of what I would do in a 4x4 bed. This is obelisk trellises down the center, and we have 10 tomatoes in this bed. 10 tomatoes. Isn't that awesome? So I've got 10 tomatoes down the center. We've got bush beans on the edges, and then on the corners, we've got zinnias and basil. So we're doing this bed here as a 4x4. So in 16 square feet of space, we've got our fruiting plants. We've got our bush bean plants, our medium-sized plants. We've got our herbs, and we've got flowers all packed in here. And you could add some arugula and greens as well. So this is just one of the 16 planting plans we give you to guide you through each type of garden, each type of season you have in the garden. So I have to warn you though, this planting plan works, this way of ignoring and breaking the rules only works if you use a raised bed. So those rules that they give you on the back of the seed package and on the plants when you buy them, those are set up for row gardening when you're gardening directly in the ground. But when we garden in raised beds, we can pack in the plants because we're growing vertically rather than horizontally. So when your garden is set up for success, you can plant like this every single season, not just with one kind of plant, but with a wide variety of plant family and sizes. Isn't that cool? So you get to mix it up. So let's do a quick review and walk through these 4 steps together and make your plan. All right. So this is the sentence, if you haven't written it down. A seasonally, that's number 1, an intensively planted organic raised bed kitchen garden is the secret to a beautiful and low maintenance year-round supply of herbs, 6 months of greens, and 3 months of fruit harvest. So that's where we started. Then we talked about growing with your plants. So we talked about this line representing sun, space, time, and difficulty, and the fact that there are plants at each and every stage on this continuum. There's herbs, there's greens, there's roots, and there's fruit. And you can have a wide variety of all these things planted at the same time. Then we talked about the plant decoder, how you guys don't have to feel overwhelmed or confused. Now you can just find out the plant family. If you learn and master 10 to 15 plant families, you're going to really understand what grows in your own kitchen garden. Then we assigned a space and time to each of these. We got our butterflies at the bottom and we got our elephants at the top. They're not quite elephants, but they're big, right? So we've got our small things at the bottom and our big things at the top. And we know that we can fill our beds with a mix of all three of these. And we pulled it all together in a plan that we can do right away in this season with a mix of large plants, medium plants, and small plants. Now I see you guys are having so many questions. Like, what do we do with the raised bed? What size is it going to be? How are we going to do the soil? How do I do the watering? So you can see that this is just a small piece of a big system, right? There's so many other questions to answer for this, but let me ask you, in this little time we've had together, have you had an aha moment? What has been an aha moment for you over the last few steps as we've gone through this step? And tell me what it is. What's something that has really stuck out to you as an aha, like, oh, I did not know that yet. The decoding. There's so much to learn. Plants closer together. I can pack it in. Decoding. So much to learn. Plant more. Multiple beds can be beautiful. Pack it tight. I can do this with raised beds. I can get more. Plant families. Pack it in. Oh, I love this. Break the rules. Plant families, decoding, lots of plants, so many months of fruit. Yes, multiple raised beds, a system that I can do. Plant families. All right, I love it. So many ahas. You created a way to set up a garden to break the rules. I love it. Plant more, not less. And Deborah says, I learned all of it. All right, so you guys are now set, right? You are ready to create a garden just like this. Now check out this garden. This is what I created from April to August of 2019. I'm growing in my bed now. It's full of greens. If you haven't checked it out, I'll have to give you a link on how to see a picture of it. But you can see all this at play. Now, does this picture make more sense to you guys, right? When you look at this now, you have a lot more understanding, right? Because of the time we spent together. You can see the greens here, the kale, the Swiss chard. You can see the flowers. You can see the tomatoes. You can see the fruiting plants. You can see the greens. See how it's all these things mixed together? So this is no longer just an Instagram photo to you, right? This is a system. This is a system that can work for you too, where we mix all the plant families, all the sizes all together. So this bed is a 2.5 by 7. So now you've got your summer planting plan. So now what? I see all these questions you guys are asking. Fertilizer, soil, raised beds, irrigation. What do we do? All right, so here is how you can use this planting plan that I've just taught you. The first thing you've got to do is design your raised bed. So this system works in a raised bed. Remember how I talked about this is, you can only really break the rules if you set it up like this. So you're going to design your raised bed. Next, you're going to create your raised bed kitchen garden. So you've got to put it together. I would say a minimum is going to be a 4x4 bed or a 2x8 bed. I want you to get 16 square foot of garden, okay? Then you're going to plant it just like we talked about. Take this plan and plant it and tend it. And then you're going to harvest and learn from it. And then you're going to keep going, okay? You're not going to stop. You're going to do this season after season after season. This isn't just for the summer. This is for all the years to come. So I would love to help you with the next steps. I would love to go all in with you and teach you my whole system. Today has been so fun, but as you can see, we got more stuff to cover, right? So I want to show you, I want to bring you inside and show you the full system of setting up the raised beds, building them, clearing the land, putting them together just the way my company does with Rooted Garden here. These are pictures of the raised beds my company does in Houston, Texas. It's been so fun. The company has just taken off. We now have 3 consultants that work full time for Rooted Garden. And this is what our services entail. So we start out with a consult. That is 1 hour of time with us, with my team. Then we create a design for our clients. And that takes a couple days, maybe up to a week. Then we have garden coach sessions where we meet with our clients throughout the year. And then we do planting plans for them as they want to keep planting every 3 months or so. So as you can see, these services with Rooted Garden, they really add up and they are absolutely worth every penny and way more. Our clients are, I mean, they are worth, we love them so much and we love getting to work with them. But as my company grew in Houston, I had a little bit of a dilemma. I told my husband, Jason, I said, I love what I do for Rooted Garden. I love the gardens I get to create for my clients, but the problem is I have a bigger mission. I want everybody to learn how to garden, and I'm only getting to help so many people with Rooted Garden. And that's when I had my own aha. I said, like, what could I do? How could I take what I'm doing with Rooted Garden and turn this into something that I could share with other people? And that's when I had the aha. I was like, we're going to keep doing Rooted Garden. I'm going to keep this business going. I love it so much, but I'm also going to create something new so I can reach other people beyond just that company. So in 2017, I started Gardenary. So garden plus ordinary, those are the two words I put together to mean Gardenary. And the vision was that I would take all the lessons from hundreds of clients with Rooted Garden and turn it into a system that I could share with everybody all over. And that's how Kitchen Garden Academy got started. So after setting up so many kitchen gardens, watching my clients' success, I took all those lessons and put them into an online course. And I thought, oh my goodness, anybody can watch this anywhere at any time. It's so amazing. It doesn't have to be scheduled just one-on-one, and it doesn't just last for an hour. This is something somebody can watch again and again, and I could guide them through the whole process. So like I said, today, I got to show you module 5, a little bitty piece of module 5. The Academy is actually over 60 videos of teaching all through the whole process. But today we got to dive in deep to module 5. So do you remember this chart or this saying, setup equals what? Do you guys remember? What is setup equal? Yes, success. Exactly, Lona and Janet. Setup equals success. So I realized that setup was the thing. It wasn't how much somebody knew about gardening that determined their success. It was if their stuff was set up well. And so I took that idea, setup equals success, and I turned it into a system. So now it's not just me helping people set up their garden and giving them success. It's a system that you can employ, that you can use right away to ensure that you have the same kind of setup and the same kind of success. So remember how I discovered that my clients, the more they trusted me, the more they let me help me with their whole setup, the more success they had. Well, I have to say, I'm not trying to brag, kinda, I am sorta. I have to say that the students who trust me all the way, who let me come in and help them with every part of their garden adventure, I see them be more successful. I don't know. It just keeps happening. So I'm not trying to be braggy. I'm just trying to say it works. So we're going to take this sentence and I'm going to show you how I took this and turned it into the Academy, where you'll learn how to set up an organic raised bed kitchen garden. So this is Barbara's space. Barbara lives in Connecticut. Anybody from Connecticut here? Barbara joined oh, I see some Connecticut people. So awesome. So I don't know if you can tell, but Barbara has a slope. She joined in the spring of 2020. And look what she did. You ready? What in the world? Is that so awesome? So she turned her space into this gorgeous 4-garden classic, beautiful arch trellis. And look at the retaining wall she even put in to help her with the slope. So we got to coach her and help her through the whole process. You'll get to know her inside the Facebook group in the Academy. Next up is Sophia's space. Sophia is my hero. She is a nurse. She served on the front lines of the COVID pandemic, and she's also a breast cancer survivor. She is someone I look up to and respect so much. So she had started here, and she was ready for a do-over. So she joined the Kitchen Garden Academy last spring, right at the start of the pandemic. She was working at the hospital, came home, and her husband and her worked together, and look what they did. Is that amazing? She set up this gorgeous new kitchen garden and started all over. So you'll get to see her a lot in the Facebook group as well. She's always posting her walkthroughs and her videos of her garden. It's so gorgeous. So this is, I'm going to walk you through. If you want to stay and learn a little bit more about Kitchen Garden Academy, I'm going to take the next few minutes to show you everything that's inside. If you're done and you don't want to stay, I totally understand. And I have loved spending this time with you. But if you'd like to learn more about the Academy, I'm going to take just a few minutes to show you everything that's inside so you can know if it's a good fit for you. And we'll take questions at the end. So stay tuned. As soon as I finish up here, we'll go to your questions that you have. So the first part of the Academy is I walk you through 5 questions I want you to answer before you get started, okay? 5 questions. These are super important that I want you to go through and really dive into before you start gardening. The next is I walk you through all the structures, raised beds, trellises, borders, and pathways. I teach you my whole philosophy behind my teaching. Module 2, we're going to talk about sunlight, water, accessibility, and aesthetics. So I'm going to help you design your kitchen garden so it lines up with your home. It's beautiful and you're so proud of it. Next, you're going to install it. I'm going to walk you through the hardest part. This is the most difficult part, but you can do it. I'm cheering you on. You got the muscles. I'm going to help you clear your space, put in the soil, put in the beds, all that kind of stuff. I'll walk you through every step like we do with Rooted Garden. And I have you close-up pictures and photos so you can see how we do it for Rooted Garden clients. Then in module 4, it might be the most important module. I teach you about soil and water. These are the secrets to having the organic part of your garden and keeping it going. Module 5, we're going to talk about planning. So you got a little sneak peek of this, but in this part, I dive all the way in. I teach you all about the plant families. I teach you how to make this work for your climate. So if you live in California, you live in Mississippi, you live in Canada, you live in New York, wherever you live, I teach you in module 5 how to make this work for you with your climate. So it's not just I'm teaching someone who lives in California. I'm going to teach you a system you can use wherever you live. Module 6, I teach you how to plant. I have a very fun lesson in here that involves dinner plates. You're going to love it. And I teach you when to plant from seed, when to plant from plant, how to plant a tuber, all that kind of stuff. And then how to buy plants, how to go shopping for plants. And then we literally dive in and I show you how to plant up your garden. So that's module 6. I also teach you in module 6 how to start seeds inside if you want to do that. Module 7, I teach you tending. I have a great philosophy on tending called Stay on the Offense. The idea here is to make gardening fun, not stressful. So you're going to love it. I teach you how to prune, how to trellis, how to feed and fertilize, how to water, and how to deal with pests. We talk about all that in module 7. And then in module 8, I talked to you about harvesting. Now, who needs being taught about harvesting, right? Actually, my neighbor today, she said, I just harvested some spinach. I don't know if I did it right. I'm like, you did it right. So these are all the video modules inside of the Academy. It really brings you through each and every part of the system. I didn't leave any part out. It's all in here. And each of these modules includes about 5 to 7 videos. So you get instant and lifetime access to all this. This is yours for good. So as soon as you join the Academy, you get it all, and then you get to keep it for season after season after season. So it's not something you have to just be done with in 3 months. So all in all, kind of a way to summarize it is there's 3 video modules on garden design. There's 3 video modules on garden creation, and there's 3 video modules on garden growth. So those are the things I want to bring you through the whole process, how to design it in a gorgeous way, how to set it up successfully like a pro would, and then how to grow and enjoy each season and keep going. There's also going to be live question and answer sessions with gardenary coaches. So I have a gardenary coaching program. I've certified 500 gardeners around the country. It's so awesome. And we have gardenary coaches who come into the Facebook group and come into Zoom like this. And we have live classes where they will help you through any problems you have. They'll help you troubleshoot. They'll answer questions, all that kind of stuff. It looks like this. You guys just get to all show up, talk to each other, and help each other out. Then we have an interactive community. So if you guys are looking for your tribe, if you are still here, I have to say you're going to be a perfect fit for the KGA group. If you're hanging out with me this long, then you're going to find your tribe inside the Facebook group. So it's mostly women. We do have some dudes in there, but it is mostly amazing, supportive women who just love each other, help each other. they'll post, where do I put my garden? What do you think about this design? How about this trellis? Did anybody know where to find a trellis? Just tons of help and support. I just saw this bug on my plant. What should I do with it? So you have this fantastic community to come in and support you as you go through. There's over 1,200 people in there. I took this picture when there were only 450, but I promise you when you join, there's 1,200 in there. So we'll have a special welcome for you guys for the summer session. But here's like a post. This is from Susan. This is a kind of a familiar post you'll see inside the group. Been dreaming of this for a year. Here it is. Sherry says, who says you can't downsize and garden? If there's a will, there's a way. So Sherry put her kitchen garden in the front yard. So awesome. This is Esmeralda. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you what her kitchen garden looked like when she put it in. But y'all, this is the kale she harvested last winter. So stay tuned. You got to see what these plants look like when she put them in the spring. There's a lot of other resources to ensure your success. So we have a 500-page ebook that goes along with all your lessons. It's a workbook that'll support you as you go through and learn. So if you prefer to have the visual, you'll have an ebook to guide you all the way. There's audio downloads. So if you prefer to just listen while you're working out or working out or walking or gardening, of course, or playing in the kitchen. Who plays in the kitchen? No, cooking in the kitchen, doing laundry, whatever. You can just listen to the lessons or re-listen. Then we'll have those 16 planting plans for you. I have a full ebook. It's like a 25-page book that walks you through all the visuals to build a raised bed. And then I also have a simpler raised bed where I give you the instructions on how to build that one too. And wait, there's more. I said this last night and we were all cracking up at like the bonuses, right? So I wanted to include for you guys 2 extra courses because of my promise that you're going to get a year-round supply of herbs and 6 months of greens, right? So I added these 2 courses when you join us inside the Academy to go along with your membership. So the first is the Herb Garden Guide. The Herb Garden Guide is going to teach you all about growing herbs. So I'm going to take all the plant families that deal with herbs and I'm going to go deep into them. So I'm going to teach you about each of those plant families, how to set up a beautiful container garden with herbs, and how to grow herbs year round or to have harvests that you'll enjoy year round. So this is a special bonus. It comes with Kitchen Garden Academy and you get it for life. The next one is Salad Garden School. So Salad Garden School is my first course that I created. And this is going to teach you how to have 6 months of salad greens. So it's still using my same system. It's still a raised bed, but I teach you how to do a small raised bed. And then I show you how to grow this with the plant families. So just like I teach you the idea of plant families, in this course, we go all the way deep into the salad garden plant families. So it's a real intensive on salad gardening. So the cool thing is you could join right now, just do Kitchen Garden Academy this summer. In the fall, you could do Salad Garden School. And then in the winter, you could do Herb Garden Guide, right? So just keep you going on and on and on so that you never stop growing. That is the goal. So here are some of our Kitchen Garden Academy graduates. This is Laura. She's in Texas. This is the kitchen garden she created inside of the Academy. Isn't it awesome? She has twins and she's a lawyer. She works full time and she made this happen on her weekends through the Academy. This is Antja. She lives in Charlottesville, Virginia. She relocated from overseas. I think she was in Sweden. She relocated to Charlottesville, Virginia during the pandemic, and they put together this kitchen garden. It's so beautiful in her front yard. And she was so fun to watch. She planted everything and she said, oh my gosh, nothing's growing. I'm so nervous. She used my dinner plate method for planting. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, she was sending me all these harvest photos. I was like, see, I told you it worked. This is Esmeralda. You guys remember her with her kale, with her huge kale plants? Well, look at those kale plants. You guys see them? They're in there. She's planting them. This was like April of 2020. And those turned into those humongous kale plants. I'm telling you guys, 6 months of greens is a possibility. This is Chandra. Chandra, she had started building her beds. She joined the Academy. She tore them out and started over. So super fun to see that you can do a do-over. So if anybody needs a new do-over, Chandra's proof that it works. And this is Rebecca. She's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she went all in. Look at her. Is she amazing? She built these terrace gardens in front of her home, stained to match her home. I mean, they're just fantastic and gorgeous. So she built these in the fall and is growing this year with us inside the Academy. You'll get to meet all these amazing people. And then finally is Raish, all right? Can you believe her? She's got these tomatoes that are going crazy. So Raish is like a Gardenary pro. She joined the Academy. She lives in New Jersey, and she's actually now a garden coach. She garden coaches with us inside of Gardenary. She joined in the winter, had this fantastic success, so successful that she started teaching other people how to garden too in New Jersey, and she's creating her own kitchen garden business. So awesome. So if you're asking, is Kitchen Garden Academy right for me? It is right for you if you want to design and create a raised bed kitchen garden for yourself. It's right for you if you want a streamlined and proven approach that minimizes maintenance and maximizes production and beauty. So if you're wanting like a row garden approach or a farming kind of homestead approach, this is not it. This is more for someone who's busy and wants the garden to be part of their life, but doesn't want it to take up their life. KGA is also right for you if you don't want to waste time searching the internet and you want to make the most of your money you invest in your garden space. So if you love to Google, do I have some Googlers here? If you love Googling, if you love YouTubing and going down the rabbit hole of research, then this might not be for you, because this is one system. So this is just the step-by-step through the whole system. This is not necessarily for someone who loves Googling. So I had a mom DM me on Instagram. She said, I'm nursing a baby and I have a toddler. I didn't want to Google anything. I just wanted a system that works. So that is what you'll get inside of KGA. You won't get a ton of like, I never give you like, you could do this or this or this or this. I just tell you, do this, it works. So if you don't like that, if you love Google, then this is probably not the fit for you. And it's also a fit for you if you love this method, but you want to do it yourself. So if you guys don't love what I taught you today, don't join the Academy, because this is just a start to what I teach. So the Academy is not going to be a good fit for you if you didn't love what I taught you today, because it's going to be more and more and more of that. It's going to bring that system really deep. So if you love this method, if you like this idea and you want to do it for yourself, it is right for you. So like I said, with my Rooted Garden clients, we love working with them, but it is a big investment. This is just for our time with them, not even for the actual raised beds or anything. This is just for us spending a year coaching and consulting with our clients, and it's totally worth it, but it can cost over $1,000 to work with us as consultants. So I wanted to make it so much more accessible and so much more affordable for you to have access, not to just me for an hour, but to have teaching from me for hours and hours and hours, and to get to watch and rewatch them as often as you want to. So with Kitchen Garden Academy, you're going to get instant access to all this stuff, and it's not going to cost $1,300. So you can actually get started today for our summer session with just one payment of $87. This is a payment plan. So you'd pay $87 today, and then there'd be 3 more payments of $87. So this is our payment plan to make it as easy to get started as possible. Just $87 today, and then 3 more payments, and you're done for life. You're in the program for good. Or if you like to just be finished and save some money, you can get 15% off if you just do one payment. This is easier for us. This is why we give you a little bit of a discount. It's easier for us, and it's honestly easier for you, because you don't have to be waiting, be like, when do I have to pay for that again? So it's just $297. It's just a little bit more than that first consult, that first hour with my company. So $297, one and done, you're finished, and you've paid for the Academy for life. And you can see that little ribbon up there. That's our guarantee. So Gardenary, like I told you, we're on a mission. I am trying to build the Uber of gardening. That's my vision. So I want you guys to all love and respect the Gardenary brand, and I stand behind our products 100%. So if you're not pleased with the Kitchen Garden Academy, you can get all your money back in 15 days. You can just send us an email to support@gardenary.com, and we will refund you, because I want to make sure you love it. And if you sign up while we're live today, I know we've been here for an hour now. So if you got to go, if you want to sign up before we go, I do give you this lookbook. You'll get this right as soon as you sign up. And it's these beautiful kitchen gardens I developed and my company's developed for Rooted Garden to inspire you as you start building your garden. This is an ebook that'll come to you by email as soon as you sign up. And I just added another bonus, which is the garden construction video. This is going to be in your welcome section as soon as you join the Academy today while we're live. And I bring you step by step through this install. See the before to the after. I hired a videographer, a professional videographer, to video this whole construction. And I narrate over the video to show you the step by step of how we set up our raised beds and how you can take that same system. You'll see how we do the irrigation, the clearing, the leveling, every single part of it. That's a bonus that comes. You'll get to watch it today as soon as you sign up. So again, there's 2 payment options. We're almost to the question and answer part. You can do 4 payments of $87 or 1 payment of $297. That's 15% off. And when you do, you're going to have a private portal. So you can sign up. You can get online if you want to be on a desktop or computer, or you can do it on your phone. We have an app you can use through my service provider, Kajabi, and you can get right onto your phone and just watch the videos while you're working out or walking the dog or out in the garden. So it's super easy to access and you can watch the videos again and again. To join us, you just go to kitchengardenacademy.com. Both the payment options are there for you. So you can just pick which one you prefer if you want to do the payment plan or the 15% off. And the 15% off, by the way, it just comes in. You don't have to put a coupon code in or anything like that. And then don't forget, you get these bonuses, Salad Garden School and Herb Garden Guide. My goodness, girls, if you're guys here too, you count too. But just think if you could grow herbs year round or have fresh herbs year round and salad from your garden for 6 months. It's so awesome. So this is how the guarantee works. It's a 15-day guarantee. And I just ask that you watch the first 4 modules. So modules 1 through 4, and then you can email us if you're not happy at support@gardenary.com. We just want to make sure you actually tried it out. You know, it's kind of like if you got clothes sent to you, and I just want you to at least try them on. I tell my kids, please just try this on, you know, stop wearing the same shirt every day. You know what I mean? I have a couple of kids who are like stuck in COVID land. So I want you to at least try it on, watch the videos. And if you don't love it, we will we'll return your money. So to join, go to kitchengardenacademy.com. I would love to keep this going. We covered so much in an hour, but y'all, there is so much more to do. And I would love to be your garden consultant, your garden coach through your whole gardening journey. I'd also love to introduce you to the Gardenary family and all the Gardenary coaches there. There's over 2,200 members in the Academy. And I would love for you to make it 2,201. We'd love for you to join us this summer. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick tour inside, and my team is going to text me the winners of the books. So let me just pause for a quick second, and I want to show you what it looks like inside of the Academy. So you'll go to gardenarymember.com/login as soon as you join. And this is what Kitchen Garden Academy looks like. So you'll go in, you'll get your welcome right here. And we find out more about you. And you can always just go back. And each of these categories is a full module. You click on it so you can see each module has about 4 to 7 videos. So you'll click on it, press play, and all these videos are right from my garden. So I just literally videoed them inside my garden. They all have a download with them, and they all have an audio that goes with them. And that's what it looks like right inside. Now, as soon as you join, you have access to the whole thing. So you can literally binge watch it. Someone DM'd me the other day and she said, I got on at 10 p.m. and I stayed up till 2 a.m. I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, I couldn't stop watching. But you'll also get Salad Garden School. So it's set up very similar, just like this. You'll see the plant families are here, how to set up your 4x4 bed. It's all in here, and that'll be yours immediately as well. So you'll get to try it out, see what you think about it. And then the Herb Garden Guide is here for you right away as well. So you could start there if you want to start more with containers or rolling planters, things like that. Monica says, this sounds so easy. That is my goal. I want it to be easy. I don't want the garden to be overwhelming or disappointing. So this is what your membership looks like inside. You'll get access to your library. It's password protected, so it's just for you. And you'll be able to get in there, and the course tracks your progress. It tracks how you're doing, and it'll keep up with your progress, which is so awesome. Then you'll get immediate access to the Facebook group. Just use your email that you use to sign up, and we will get you all set up in there so you can come in and say hello and meet your people. Okay, so it is time to announce the winners, and I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, Kathleen is here. Kathleen is one of my fantastic garden coaches. She's in the Atlanta area, and Natasha is here as well. Natasha is a garden consultant in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Kathleen is in Atlanta. So our books are going to Kirsten Rhodes, Shravika Bothra, Shelley Goslin, Brittany Truman, and Diane Needleman. So if you guys have, if you're still here, if you ladies are still here, you're going to email us at hello@gardenary.com. Let us know your address and we will set you up. So Kirsten Rhodes, Shravika Bothra, Shelley Goslin, Brittany Truman, and Diane Needleman. I hope some of you guys are still here. Congratulations to you guys. I want to see Shelley. Awesome. So email us at hello@gardenary.com and we will send you a book. So questions. Instant and lifetime access. If you guys join us, you will get that lookbook if you join me while we're live. So here's a couple questions I get. The first one is, how do I explain this to my husband? You guys ever thought about that? Like, I want to buy this, but I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my husband. Anybody? Yeah. Okay. I see a few hands, or your partner, or anybody that, you know, sees your credit card. This is why we all need our own credit cards, by the way. So just a quick thing, quick tip I will tell you as a surprise is I wouldn't tell him, I wouldn't tell this person that you're going to save money on groceries. All right. That's not what we want to talk about. Oh, Kirsten says, I pay the bills. Oh, yeah. So we don't want to say we're doing this to save money on groceries, because this is really not about saving money. Now, having groceries is awesome from the garden, but I want you to really talk about it to them as like, this is a piece I want to add to my lifestyle. Like, this is a lifestyle change I want to make. Got it? So that's what we want to talk about with them. Not, I want to save money on groceries, but I want to make a lifestyle change. I want to put the garden as a centerpiece of our family, a centerpiece of our home. And this is what I want to do. Not to save money, but to enhance my life. I only got one life, only got one summer 2021, and I want to make the most of it. So that's how I explain investments like this to my husband. I don't explain too many things about the garden anymore. But when I used to, I would say, you know, this is something that's really important to me. This is something I want to do. This is like you buying a set of golf clubs, or you signing up for a marathon or something like that. I say, this is my investment in myself. Exactly. Stephanie says, or somebody said, it's like, you know, investing in a health club or a personal fitness trainer, things like that. Catherine says, my husband says my garden costs more than my tomatoes. Exactly. So that's why we don't want to make the focus. The focus is not saving money. Okay. The focus is taking care of yourself. So if you change the focus to be about taking care of yourself, I feel like it changes the conversation. How much time will it take? So most people who sign up for the Kitchen Garden Academy, they are done setting up within about 30 days. I love to promise you that you can do it in 6 weeks' time. So you get to decide how short or long you want it to be, but usually it takes about 30 days to be fully set up. You could watch it right now and set up your garden this weekend. How's this different from your book? A lot of people ask that. And so generally it's like taking a college course with a professor, right? Versus reading his book. So the book is a great introduction. If you guys don't sign up for the Academy, you should absolutely get my book. Duh, if you like this. If you're still here, you should get the book. So that's how it's different, though. It's like you get to come deeper into the system with me inside the Academy. So you get to like up close and personal. You get to go a lot deeper on all the subjects. How much money and space will I need to invest to make the res bed kitchen garden? This is a great question. A lot of people say, you know, well, how much more do I have to spend? So I like to say you could get started in about a 16 square foot space. I'd like you to have 16 square feet. And I would like you to have a budget of about at least $300 to $500 total to put in the system. That would allow you to put in a simple raised bed, a beautiful square raised bed, 4x4, a simple obelisk trellis, and how to set up. Okay, so that's how you can set up the garden. Simplest. So 16 square feet for about $300 to $500. That's a minimum, I would say, to use the Academy. Now you could go much simpler with containers for the Herb Garden Guide or the Salad Garden School. Raquel said, I just signed up for KGA and I'm so excited to dive into the videos. So awesome. She's going to do over her existing garden. Are your gardening methods organic? A lot of people ask this. They definitely are organic. So I have a saying I talk about a lot, which is think about nature. And that means that every time I'm gardening, I'm trying to replicate and imitate nature. And you'll see that through all my teachings. So I don't use peat moss. I don't use vermiculite, perlite. I don't use Miracle Grow. I don't use synthetic fertilizers or herbicides. Everything is as natural as possible and as sustainable as possible. So a lot of other gardening methods, I know square foot gardening, he uses peat moss and vermiculite and perlite, and I don't do that. So all of our methods are as organic and sustainable as possible and working to make even more so. So you can rest assured that is how you'll learn. And when I teach you how to tend your garden, you're going to be tending it organically as well. How long do you have to take the course? You can take as long as you want. So you could complete it this weekend or you can complete it next year. You get to decide how long you want it to take you, but the course is yours for good. So you'll get to decide, what kind of time frame you want to do it in. Okay, so I'm going to go to your questions now. Those are questions I've had from others. And talk about it. So we have a few more minutes here. I'd love to help you. Thank you guys for all of you guys still being here. Y'all are amazing. Morgan said, I'm so glad I came across your ad. I'm so glad you did too, Morgan. If you didn't hear the winners, it's Kirsten Rhodes, Shravika Bothra, Shelly Gosselin, Brittany Truman, and Diane Needleman. Just email us at hello@gardenary.com and we will get you set up. Okay, lots of questions. Let's get to it. So do you use heirloom also, says Arlene? Yes. So Arlene, I use a mix of heirloom and I do use some hybrid. So I recommend to say a new gardener, they could start with a hybrid like a Juliet tomato to make it a little simpler on themselves. But obviously, yes, I love using heirloom plants too. And I love Baker Creek seeds. You'll hear me talk a lot about them in the course. Do you rotate brassicas to avoid planting in the same place year after year, says Kate. So something I've learned about this crop rotation idea, if you use my method to seasonally plant, we kind of deal with that anyway. The crop rotation is dealt on the presupposition that you're only going to plant one thing every year in a space. And I plant 3 or 4 things in a space over a whole year. So that really takes care of the crop rotation. So for instance, the place where I'm going to grow tomatoes right now. I have peas there right now. I'm going to have tomatoes there, and then I'll have peas there again in the fall. So even though I grow tomatoes there every year, I grow peas in between and greens. So I technically do rotate them. I just don't do it over years, but you can definitely do crop rotation if you want to. Okay. Lona says, how long is enrollment open? So we are this is open until next Tuesday. So this is our summer session to enroll in our summer session. But we will probably open again in the fall if you want to try it out in the fall. Arlene says, does your information cover Miami? Yes, you're going to be able to apply this any climate you live in. I'll teach you how to understand your climate and how to make it work for you. Okay, R says, how do I become a coach for Spanish speaking and teach how to garden? Oh, I love that. You can find out more about becoming a garden coach at gardencoachsociety.com. We start our summer class actually for our garden coaches very soon. Is this only for the summer gardening? Nope, it's for year round. You'll get to use it year round. Lona says, I'll plan to sign up in the fall. That's awesome. Stay tuned though, Lona. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Instagram, and let's keep growing together, okay? What about deer, squirrels, and bugs? Awesome, Diana. So I do teach you about a physical barrier for your garden, you definitely want to have that. I'll teach you how to use, say, mesh. And then if you're dealing with deer, you're probably going to need like some kind of fencing to deal with it. What if you don't have Facebook? Great question. So you'll still get a ton of value out of the course, even if you don't join Facebook. We have some people who do Facebook just to be part of the group, which you could just literally sign on for that. But we also have places where you can put all your questions inside the course. So every time you watch a lesson, you can put under the comments, and our gardenary coaches, they monitor those question boxes every week, like 5 days a week. So you'll get answers for those questions as you go. Laura says, I just signed up. Can you talk about raccoons? Yes. Welcome, Laura, to the Academy. You're going to deal with raccoons. You're going to need a physical barrier. So I highly recommend doing mesh, a garden mesh. And we talk about that. We talk about that inside the Academy with protection and covers. So I would do garden hoops and mesh to protect from the raccoons. Y'all, the other day, I saw a raccoon in the morning. I was on a run. I saw a raccoon carrying a baby bunny in his mouth. It was the scariest, saddest thing ever. Okay, if you aren't near your gardens for a few days, is there a way of watering when you aren't around? Yes, Diana. So you can do oyas. Oyas are like something you can put down in the bed. And then you can also do drip irrigation. So I teach you how to do irrigation setup, a formal irrigation inside the Academy if that's what you want to do. And you can even set it up to go with just a faucet. You don't have to have a formal irrigation. You don't have to have a formal irrigation system. Okay. Joe says, do you need to have the garden planters laid out before joining? No, I wouldn't lay anything out yet because I'm going to teach you how to do it. So the less you've done already, honestly, even the better, because then we get to start completely from scratch and make it just the way you want to. So you don't need to have anything ready yet to join, for sure. Will I have to go through the $1,300 plan? No, you don't. So I was just showing you that as a difference between my Rooted Garden plan, which is totally worth the money. It's worth like 3 or 4 times that amount because you get to meet with a consultant live. But what I was showing you how I wanted to take that system and create something that everybody could take part in. So no, it's only $297 to join the Academy. Sad to say, oh, that's so funny. Robin says we have a leg lifter in our pup tribe. He marks everything and he's tall. All right, Robin, you're going to love this. Are you going to believe this? Having a dog pee on your garden is actually good. Is that so weird? It is actually a good thing. So you don't want it to pee on your plants if you can. I mean, it's not a big deal actually because urine generally isn't going to bother them. But what it will do is it will tell bunnies to stay away and probably squirrels too. So those prey, when they smell predator urine, they won't go into the garden. Isn't that awesome? So I try to keep my dogs around my garden as much as possible to try to keep the bunnies out. So pretty awesome to know that. Okay, Kirsten says, did the Academy help us make a plan? Start small if we need to and then add on? Yes, definitely, Kirsten. We have a lot of students who do that. So we help you walk through like how you're going to design it, and then you can decide how you want to build onto it as you go, for sure. Diana says, do I have to do escalation if I have some slopes? We have a lot of gardeners who've dealt with slopes in the Academy, and they do a variety of things. So one way to do is level it and kind of build a retaining wall. And then the other way is to build beds that kind of vary in height as you set them up, and you can do both. When will fall class start? I'm not sure yet. Maybe September. When you add videos to your membership, do we get those updates, says Carol. Great question. Yes, your membership to the Academy includes all the improvements. So as we grow the Academy, you get access to that. So even our Academy members now, they've gotten, things, bonuses. We actually are just adding now. We have a pest ebook that we just adding. So the pest ebook has all of our coaches' knowledge on pests that are going on in certain regions of the country and how to deal with them. So our Kitchen Garden Academy students will get access to that. You will too, but even those who've been a member for over a year will get it too. Okay. Living in New Mexico, I need information on the effects of altitude. Does the Academy address this? Awesome question. Yes, and we have some garden coaches who are who all actually are high altitude gardeners. So they will be able to chime in and help you with that as well. Sharon says, is it too late for a summer garden in Texas? It's not, Sharon. We're putting in gardens all over Houston right now. We put them in all summer long. So you'll learn what to plant. The thing is, you want to plant hot season plants when you plant up your garden in Texas. And that's what you'll learn how to do in module 5 and 6. Okay. Wendy says, do you already work with people in Northern California? I didn't see any consultants here when I checked. We have some, I don't know if we have some in Northern California. I'll have to check. What is the link to become a coach? gardencoachsociety.com. You can learn more about our program. Alicia says, I signed up. I need help positioning the garden around the home for sun access. Will the class address that? Yes, and welcome to the Academy. We will, and you can go ahead even today, go ahead and put your, put some pictures of your space into the Facebook group, and we'll start getting you opinions right away. It'll be awesome. Okay, what else we got? Let's see. Will there be a replay? I came in late. Yes, we will try to get a replay to you later on today. Florida gardening in the summer is very difficult. Above question was in yes. So gardening in any place is all about timing, and that's why we have the whole session on planning out your garden. So I've gardened all over. I've never been on the West Coast, but I've gardened from Philadelphia, Virginia, Nashville, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, and now in Chicago. So I bring that idea of all these different places I've gardened into the Academy. So I really set it out where you can take it and you can apply it wherever you live. Does this address climate change? That's a great question. I don't. So my way of dealing with climate change is trying to get everybody to garden. My mission is that by 2030, no one in the United States is buying herbs or greens from the grocery store, so that everyone in the US grows their own herbs and has their own salad greens for at least 6 months. So that is my personal fight for climate change. It is to cut down on fuel usage and cut down on plastics and waste for greens. I don't know if, I know it's going to be harder for everybody to grow their own tomatoes, but I truly believe everyone can grow their own herbs and greens. So that's my mission. That's the Gardenary mission, is that everyone at least is growing greens and herbs. So do I address climate change from a grassroots approach? I guess you could say it that way. I don't talk a lot about climate change I don't talk about it, honestly, in the Academy. Maybe I need to get more vocal about it. But my passion for climate change is gardening. That is I feel like that's my contribution. That's something I know I can do, which is to get everybody growing. When I first started growing my greens in Houston, I would literally walk around and I would see Californian greens at the grocery store. And I was like, this is so dumb. I'm like, I don't even know that much about gardening, and I'm growing greens, and I have so much greens in my garden, and yet we're shipping greens from California to my grocery store. I'm like, this makes no sense. So that was what really started pushing me to start teaching gardening. Okay, MK says, are all the Academy courses available today if I sign up today? I noticed that new course enrollment is limited to the first 3 steps. I already have raised garden beds. It's all open for you now. Yes. So we did have it where the first 3 steps were open, but now we've set it up so everything's available to you as soon as you sign up today. So you will get to go straight into the planning and planting if you already have your raised bed set up. Kaylin said, I have plastic raised beds. Can I use these this season? Yes, we have we had someone last year, she just used some IKEA boxes. She was like, I just wanted to get started. So you can get started with whatever you want to. How do you address short growing season areas? Live in Montana, says Chantil. So I want to tell you, you probably have a lot longer than you think you do. And you'll learn that in module 5 and 6. We have a lot of students who come in very surprised. They thought, like, I live in Chicago. When I moved here, everybody said, oh, you can't grow anything till Mother's Day here. Mother's Day is when we plant everything. We have a very short growing season. And I'm like, oh, really? Because look what I got here. And I've been doing this since March, right? So it's like you'll learn that there's actually a lot more time to grow, even in colder places. You can use covers, you can use cold frames, but even if you don't do that, there's so many things that grow under frost. Elizabeth says, my husband likes to fertilize the lawn and I worry about having a garden in this area. Should this be a concern? You could try to cover your garden when he's fertilizing. Ask him to use something that doesn't blow. And then, yeah, maybe cover it. Cover it with like a frost cloth or something when he's doing that. That would be my recommendation. MK says, very excited to improve my gardening. I am so awesome. Kirsten said, I'm so grateful you're sharing your knowledge and helping others help themselves. Awesome, guys. Well, we have come to the end. Anonymous attendee says, can I set this up alone? Yes, girl, for sure. I set mine up alone. You can do it. You can get help or you can do it yourself. All right. Can I do these boxes on my deck? You can definitely do it on your deck. Okay. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much. Listen, don't leave the Gardenary family. All right. We have tons of resources. You can go to gardenary.com to learn more about the company, find a consultant near you. You can go to YouTube. We have Gardenary videos. You can go to Facebook. We have a Facebook group. You can go to Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram at Gardenary Co. And but the best way to grow with us is to come into the academy. So I'll extend the time for you guys to sign up today for a little bit longer to get that lookbook. And but I just want to ask you, even if you're not ready to sign up, I want to ask you to please stick around, because if you would spend this much time with me, if you'll spend a whole hour with me, then you are one of our people. We want you to be part of the Gardenary mission and we need your help. So gardening is only going to spread if each of us do the best we can and then tell as many people as we can. So I want to just ask you, please don't go anywhere. If you could hang out with me for a whole hour, that means you're going to love the whole Gardenary family. There's amazing coaches and consultants inside of Gardenary, and you are going to find your tribe in here. So please stick around. I would obviously love to get to see you inside the academy. But either way, I want you to stay in and stay connected, okay? Robin says, I can't sign up until I leave this. I get it. So we'll keep the bonus open for about 30 more minutes after class ends. We'll try to get a replay to you guys if you signed up to get emails from us. And I just want to thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Friday afternoon. Now I'm going to go plant my tomatoes. I have about 10 more tomatoes to put into my garden. So I will see you guys soon. You can come say hi to me on Instagram. I'm Gardenary Co. So come say hello there and have a fantastic weekend. Come join us in the academy. I want this to keep going. I'd love to teach you the whole system. Love you so much. Bye. Have a good weekend. Thanks to Natasha and Kathleen for helping me out. Bye, guys.